Hi, Nick Dogan, North State Law. We safeguard your professional license so you can get back to business. Today's question is, what professional license career paths are there for former members of the military in North Carolina? So there are obviously a lot more than the four that I'm about to talk about. I didn't want to spend 5-10 minutes talking about this particular subject because I would lose audience pretty quickly, and frankly I would be one of those right there with you. So I'm just going to focus on four. The first one being law enforcement certification. Obviously, if you are a former military member, you're not a stranger to firearms, most likely. The thing about the law enforcement certification is you're only eligible as a member of the military, either active or former, if you've been a military police officer. And that can either be a former or an active military police officer. Other members of the military, from what I've been able to gather, do not qualify for some of the credits and some of the benefits that kind of streamline the application process for you, so to speak, and allow you to get licensed a little bit faster than a civilian would be. You got to meet certain criteria. I'm going to put the actual information in the notes of the video, so please go into the description and you'll be able to read all that stuff, because there's a good bit of the criteria that you'll have to see for yourself, just see if you meet it. So moving on to the next one, it's a private investigator license. So you could be either a private investigator or a private investigator associate. Now this is a little bit different from the law enforcement certification, because if you're seeking to be licensed as, let's just say, a private investigator associate in North Carolina, if you are a former or active military police officer, you're going to get a little bit more benefit than if you were just a member of the military in a different occupational setting than that of a military police officer. You're still going to get a benefit if you're a military member, former or active, but you're not a military police officer. So the difference between the two is, say somebody is applying for licensure as a private investigator associate in North Carolina and they're a former military police officer. All right, and say they have 5 years of experience. They can get 200 hours of experience that counts towards certain criteria for a private investigator associate license per year, up to 5 years. So they can get 1,000 hours that will count towards the requirements for a private investigator associate license if you're a former military police officer or an active one. But in my example, a former military police officer, you can get up to that 1,000 hours that count towards the requirements. If you are not a former or active military police officer, but say you're a former member of the military in a different occupational setting than that of a military police officer, you can get up to 400 hours that count towards the requirements for licensure as a private investigator associate. So we'll move on to the next one, which is security guard and patrol licenses. Now, this one is similar but different for the private investigators. And the big difference is it's 400 hours max as a former member of the military is what you can get credit for, essentially. And it doesn't matter if you are a former police officer, former military police officer or not. It's just former military member. You get 400 hours that count towards the overall hourly requirement to obtain your security guard and patrol license. Both of those licenses are regulated under the Department of Public Safety in North Carolina, and the actual board is a Private Protective Services Board that regulates both of those licenses. So moving on to the last one, the fourth one, which is one of the most important professions in the whole world, is the teaching profession. So if you're a former member of the military and you're in a leadership position, you can apply and likely receive credit for non-teaching work experience. And every year is going to add more towards your salary once you get your license as a teacher in the great state of North Carolina. So those are just a few of many benefits that a former military member will get in licensing. And those are just a couple of professions that are the military member is going to see a benefit when applying for the license. So I hope everybody is having a great day. If you have any questions, Please check out the blogs on my website. It's northstatelawfirm.com. Got a ton of information out on there. Also, a YouTube channel. Got a lot of good videos out there. Some bad, probably. And then if you still can't find what you're looking for in either one of those, then you can either call or text at 919-521-8810, and you can set up a free 15-minute discovery call with a member of my staff. I thank you so much for doing what you do in the military, not only in the great state of North Carolina, but in the United States. So thank you all very much, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Bye-bye.